about to tell you, the Western Conference Finals appearance team was a team that also received the worst grade on the list, and that was the Dallas Mavericks. And again, it's not that I think that they lost Jalen Brunson to the Knicks in free agency, right? They acquired forward Christian Wood from the Rockets. But a D? Kevin Pelton, a D? So that is a D. And an A is the Jazz. Like, I got A's in school, so I don't really know what is going on here, Dave. Do you want to chop it or drop it?
I got to chop this because let's not only mention that they got Christian Wood, they also got JaVale McGee, who's been a part of several championship teams. And they looked at what they had on their roster, and they said, if Tim Hardaway Jr. is healthy and Spencer Dinwiddie continues to ingratiate himself in the program, we can make a calculated risk in letting Jalen Brunson walk for a premium. Now, of course, you could say that, hey, doesn't Mark Cuban have deep enough pockets to pay or overpay for Jalen Brunson? You could always say that, right? But at some point, you have to look at your mix and look at the future and decide that, that's just not a number I'm going to pay. Now, you could go back and say they should have paid Brunson beforehand, locked it up. He only got better as the season went on. Yeah, but guess what? You can't go backwards. You only can go forwards. And based on how they handled the summer, it was far better than a D.
Matt?
Tough day. He grades like my sixth grade teacher that always used to have me confused.
Oh, we always
I got
remember
this.
those.
What's happening? To me, I'm not necessarily sure that this roster got better. Obviously, they're going to get healthy, and you're getting a young Christian Wood who, by numbers, is the best in the pick and roll, which is really going to help Luka. He can stretch the floor. They had several, as Dave pointed out, times to sign Jalen Brunson. But I think at the end of the day, this team is still looking for that Robin to go alongside Luka's Batman. I love what Tim Hardaway Jr. can bring back to the floor.
Yep.
And who's the other? I'm forgetting that played really well in the playoffs. Forgive me. Dinwiddie. I love what they can bring, but to me, they're still not that consistent 20 to 22 point a game score you're going to need in the playoffs.
Sure. Well, and what makes it tough, Perk, is that they're in the West. They're in a very tough Western Conference, and some say, well, they got lucky, they got breaks, and then when they smacked the Suns, people kind of stopped saying that. What do you think of this grade?
I don't like it. I mean, look, we can talk about who they lost. We could talk about Jalen Brunson leaving, and yes, he was a vital part of their success last year. But they still have a top 5 player in the NBA in Luka Doncic. This is a one-man wrecking crew by himself. Okay, and then you look at the other pieces around them. Yes, we're talking about Spencer Dinwiddie, Tim Hardaway Jr. coming back. I love the addition of JaVale McGee. Finney Smith Jr. took a leap this year. But most importantly, they have Jason Kidd. Jason Kidd has developed a certain type of culture over there that not only he has been able to hold Luka Doncic accountable, but their defense has taken a leap. And last year, I strongly believe the Dallas Mavericks would have been much better if they would have had an anchor like a JaVale McGee.
Yep.
That's the thing that hurt them against the Golden State Warriors. Kevon Looney went to work on them. But again, I'm not giving them a D because guess what? They didn't lose Luka. And if you're starting a team today, it's a lot of players out there that I get it. People would love to pick from, but I'm picking either Giannis or Luka if I'm starting a team today to build around, and they still have number 77 over there in the Mavs
In shape
uniform.
77, too.
In shape 77, held accountable 77. They say that if you
skinny
can't hold your
Luka.
top, if you can't hold your top player accountable, then how are you going to hold anybody else accountable? The thing that I look at, a D is barely passing.
That's tough.
So when you look at you're saying in the Western Conference, that's the equivalent of barely making the playoffs, right? When you're looking at the upper, that seems incredibly low to me.